Hello and welcome to this week's newscast from Power Engineering International. I'm Kelvin Ross. In this week's headlines, German utility E.ON has warned of more troubling times ahead as it's announced its second consecutive record loss. The 5th anniversary of the Fukushima disaster has been marked with a report highlighting the lessons learned and what still must be done to promote nuclear safety. And China is examining the feasibility of building a solar power plant in space. The Chief Executive of E.ON, Johannes Teyssen, has warned of more troubling times ahead as the company announced its second consecutive record loss. E.ON reported a net loss of €7 billion for 2015, compared with a net loss of €3.1 billion a year ago, with the disastrous write-down of its conventional power assets largely to blame. Teyssen said that the company's earnings situation in 2015 reflected, in particular, impairment charges of €8.8 billion on loss-making gas and coal-fired power plants. He once again acknowledged the very difficult conditions facing conventional power at the moment, with E.ON continuing to suffer from low wholesale power prices and a surge in renewable capacity. Teyssen said E.ON's numbers reflected what he called the far-reaching structural transformation that the power industry is experiencing, and that continues unabated. He added the course ahead would be tougher and longer than at first anticipated. E.ON's news comes a day after RWE posted similar gloomy results, with both utilities now awaiting a report from the German government into nuclear clean-up costs, which could increase their liabilities for the future storage of atomic waste. This week marks the 5th anniversary of the Fukushima nuclear disaster in Japan. The OECD Nuclear Energy Agency has published a new report in which it examines the safety improvements and lessons learned in the wake of the accident. The NEA's Director General, William Magwood, said that the biggest lesson of Fukushima is that while it's still impossible to predict every natural event, by drawing on the lessons of Fukushima, nuclear plants have been made more resilient and better prepared for the unexpected than they were 5 years ago. He noted that while NEA countries continue to make further progress towards enhancing safety, there is still much more to be done. He said the human aspects of safety must be addressed, such as ensuring effective safety cultures for both operators and regulators. He also stressed that nuclear safety is a continual process that evolves through experience and research, not just from what happened at Fukushima, but also from the implementation of the responses to the accident. The NEA report highlights that international cooperation is vital to allow regulators to work together to share and analyse data. It said this would encourage vigilance in nuclear safety and avoid what it called a complacency that contributed to the accident at Fukushima. China is looking at the potential for a solar power station in space that would beam back energy to Earth. According to reports from Chinese media, the government is looking at exploiting solar power as part of its wider industrial space program. It's been suggested it would build an enormous solar convert collector in space, which would convert power into a microwave beam that would be transmitted to collectors on Earth and then fed into the grid. Unlike ground-based solar power, a space-based solar power collector would be exposed to the sun almost 24 hours a day. One of the drawbacks is the potential weight of the structure. The International Space Station, which took over 10 years to build, weighs 400 tons, while experts have suggested that a space-based solar power station might weigh as much as 10,000 tons. Another drawback is simply how to get equipment and workers into space to assemble the project. Although currently China is looking at using 3D printers to make components in space and having robots assemble them. That's all for this week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.